Hey everybody, I'm Alex Roth, and I'm here with our tech editor, Elena Yee.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we have Mac OS X, OS X, whatever you want to call it. We have Yosemite, the latest version of Apple's operating system, and we're going to take you through some of the biggest changes we've noticed.
So first of all, as you guys can see, the font, the typography has changed, and Alex and I were talking about this earlier, and I'm actually not a big fan of this. So if you can click right up there at the top and get a drop-down menu, yeah. So you guys can see the font is lighter.
Yeah,
Um,
we're no longer Helvetica. It's no longer the
yeah,
Helvetica font.
and for me, it's just kind of harder to tell what's a menu versus what's normal text. I stare at text a good part of the day, editing, writing,
Yes, you
that kind of
do.
stuff. So for me, I actually really like having that distinguishing feature.
Yeah, for me, the font change, I don't mind it. It was slightly jarring, but it's grown on me. But now look at the icons down here.
That's also changed as well. They've flattened things
So
out.
flat.
Yeah, they made it kind of, I guess, look a little bit more similar to what you would get on a tablet or a phone.
Yeah, it's very
So
iOS
any of the
inspired.
iOS devices.
And speaking of iOS inspired, take a look at the notification center, which was introduced in Mavericks in the last version, but now it just looks exactly like what you would yank down from the top of your iPhone.
And you have got those widgets that they were
Yeah.
talking about so much too.
Yeah, widget support, not just for reminders and things like that I can interact with. Oh, I don't need to check on this anymore. I can kill that. Um, but look here, those are my official Apple reminders. But here I've got Wunderlist, which is this nice little reminder program I like to use. And I can have my information integrated right in there. I can interact with it. I can kill this reminder. We're working on it right now. And then I can also add more widgets to it, just with the edit down there. So you can put the calculator right down there if that's something you frequently need to use. And then you can go ahead and interact with it right then and there. And another visual change they've made is a lot of things are very clear. Like, let's bring up that calculator for a second. Like, look how, everything is kind of borderless.
Yeah,
Um,
that kind of translucence.
yes, very translucent.
And I think it's so that you can actually see things behind the windows.
Yeah,
I actually find that a pretty helpful feature in Windows 8 and also Windows 7 which I also use at home as well. So hopefully this will make work a little bit easier to pick out windows when I've got a bunch of stuff cluttering my MacBook Air screen.
yeah, it's the same way that, these windows, they've been doing this for a while, but when you minimize a window, it's still rendered down there. So I can look at it and, that looks like the IGN homepage. If I have multiple Safari windows going, it's easy to pick out which one I might want to bring back up. And speaking of other functionality improvements, they have changed Spotlight Search a lot. Now you can open it either by going up here, like you always could,
Hmm.
or you can do Command Space anywhere, and boom, there you go. You get this big unified search.
Yeah, another thing too is obviously if you've used Mac OS X for a while, it's no longer dropped down right from the menu bar. It actually puts it right in the center of the screen.
Yeah, it does. And it also searches web results. So if I search IGN, I'm going to get a lot of different things, including the IGN website.
Yeah, so we were talking about this actually before we started recording, and I was telling Alex how much I actually hate this feature
Yeah,
on a desktop system or, a laptop system. So Windows 8 does this as well. And for me, I find it incredible, and you can turn it off, but it's the default. So I find it incredibly frustrating, like when you're searching for, say, a Fantasia document that you were working on, and instead you get these hits for stuff on the web. And on Windows, that's a little bit more prevalent, although it seems like here on Yosemite, it's not nearly as cluttered with non-specific things to your system. So I don't know, Alex, you want to bring that up, but it'll actually search like your iMessage history. So
yeah.
anytime you mention it, it'll bring it up there.
Yeah, like I searched Mordor, and of course we've got the Wikipedia entry for Mordor here. We've got conversations where I've actually talked about, the game Shadow of Mordor. And then I think I've got an like a message or mail going on here where I recommended the game to a friend. So it's just a ton of results.
Other things, that stand out in terms of visual. So that's more of a function thing, but visuals, going back to that, there's also, you can invert the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a dark mode.
Let's see. And that is general. I mean, sorry, Apple preferences. And then general, isn't it? And then, yeah, use dark menu bar, which turns the border up here as well as the dock down here into a darker, sort of translucent color. And this is something you could do on the iPhone for a while, where you could invert the colors and have sort of a darker color scheme.
It seems strange that it's taken this long, actually,
Yeah,
for it
to
to become
offer
a
an
feature.
option like that, yeah.
I mean, I will admit this is more attractive than what you can get in Windows sometimes, but Windows have had, you've been able to change up the look of things for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Other things that I was a little surprised by is little things like volume control.
Yeah.
They actually made it the default now that it doesn't make a sound when you use your keys to go up or down.
Yeah, normally you get that classic donk, 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 donk sound.
Yeah, so if you want that, you actually have to enable it. And on top of that, the sound is different now.
It is.
It's kind of a light sort of sound. So I don't know. We can cue that up real quick. You just system preferences, sound, and then play feedback when volume is changed. Yeah, right there.
And that's how you can enable it here. But because, we are going through an audio output, we can't actually play it for you right now. But if you want to get that sound back, that's how you do it.
Other little things this one I thought was actually pretty neat was on preview, like when you bring up a PDF, you actually can use preview now to sign things. So you would use your trackpad and do a digital signature with your finger, and you can actually sign like a PDF or whatever that you need to do, and then send it right back, which I thought was actually a really nice, small, convenient feature to have. There's a lot of times where I've done paperwork for say freelancers or just other things that I've had to sign for myself, and then you have to do that really tedious, print it out, sign it, scan it, and then send it back.
Yeah.
Or buy a Wacom tablet.
Yeah, no more. Now
correctly.
You can sign with the trackpad.
So those kind of cover the little things that we've noticed so far, but I'm just kind of barreling down this list that we have. And I know one thing that's really excited you, Alex, was the phone call feature.
Yeah.
That you'd be able to make a phone call from your Mac. And it's both pretty neat, but also not the most intuitive
Not
of things.
terribly intuitive at all. So
Hey, there's your face.
Hey, it's me. So let's see. Let's get a number. How about we bother the good people at AT&T? So AT&T support number. And now this is so you can dial a number that isn't actually in your contacts. Because if you wanted to just, dial someone in your contacts, you would just search them up here,
Yeah, and so this is the part that we didn't actually find very intuitive at first, which is you're not going to be looking for a dialer to call a number. You would just actually put the number into that same search bar.
And then, and now your iPhone and your laptop have to be on the same Wi-Fi in order to do this, because it is actually going through your cellular service. But then you can call and see it says call using iPhone.
And there we go.
But yeah, there we go. And I'm sure we'll get some automated pickup noise or something. But
that's
anyway.
okay. For as much they charge you, they can handle this call.
But you get the idea. And you can also now text users on non-iPhone phones.
Another thing too is that you can do a lot of this through Handoff. So all that continuity stuff they were talking about during the conference last week that they held, where you can basically, pass different things between devices. So you can start an email on your iPhone and then move that over to your Mac.
Yeah. Or you can even be browsing in Chrome or Safari and just open up that exact same window, get all those tabs going. But we've been having some trouble getting Handout to work, or Handoff. I've got everything enabled, just as was instructed, but I can't seem to get it to work. And I'm not alone. I've been doing a lot of searching online, and there's a lot of people who have not gotten it to work themselves. So that's one place where we have been struggling with Yosemite a little bit. That's one of the only problems I've noticed. I also use a third-party mail app called Airmail, and it's kind of broken the search in that, and I'm not alone in that. A lot of people have been complaining about that, and I guess they're making a fix. But other than that, I haven't really had any problems with upgrading to Yosemite.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting used to some of the little
Mm-hmm.
changes. Like, for example, system updates. You
Yeah.
can't search for that anymore
Yeah,
through the
usually
menu.
usually when you would just go to Apple, you would get a system update right there. But now it's driving you to the App Store, and then you go over to the updates tab, and that's how that's done now.
And you kind of saw that a little bit in Mavericks because when I would get a pop-up notification, it would actually drive me to the App Store directly,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to that really slow, kludgy menu that would kind of pop up previously.
Yeah.
But among the neater things, and I think this is kind of for me like oh, that's nifty. I think I'm probably going to waste like 4 hours in that now, just checking out everything that's available, is a 3D view in
Yeah, in
in
Maps.
Maps.
Which, remember Apple Maps, guys. Guys, remember Apple Maps. It still exists, and it's actually pretty cool on the Mac. I still use Google Maps for sure on my phone, but on the Mac app, this is fun. They have a new 3D flyover mode, which just looks fantastic. And here we are in the beautiful city of San Francisco.
Yep.
And
Financial district right there.
yeah, and basically the way to do this is, let me unenable it, would just be to, so here we are in more of a Google Map view. If you just go to satellite, see we get nice satellite pictures, and then you hit 3D, and then boom, everything starts to pop up like a pop-up book.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
I've been in San Francisco a long time, and I still find this kind of fascinating to see this kind of view.
Yeah. There we go.
Can we do this for New York? I totally want to see.
Oh yeah, let's do it. New York City.
This may be the only way I can afford to travel for a while, living here with the rent
This
prices
is
and
the
all.
new staycation. Is the Apple Map flyover
You
vacation.
spend 5 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Take a day off work for this.
Yeah. Pour yourself a tall glass of lemonade and just fly over cities you wish you could afford to visit.
Why spend 6 hours in a plane
Right?
going cross country when you could just do this for
You can
6
spend
hours?
36 seconds letting this thing render. Oh my god, look at all the little information bubbles. I wonder if there's a way to turn those off because they are kind of... Oh yeah, there we go. They're kind of ruining the view.
That's pretty neat.
That's very nice. I'm proud of myself for figuring that out.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll give you a gold star later.
Yes.
We can make a chart.
I'm expecting flowers on my desk.
Oh, wow, you ask for a lot, man.
Well, hey, I'm worth it. Look at that park. Gorgeous. Central Park. How close can we get? Oh, wow. Now it looks like The Sims. I'm looking for someone with a diamond over their head that I can interact with.
Plum bob. That's the correct term.
Ah.
I'm probably mispronouncing that too. So I am a little self-conscious of this right now because I was called out on the Tech Fetish podcast for mispronouncing a word, which is totally what I do all the time.
What word?
So I was pronouncing Segway as Sieg because like that's what the word looks like. That's what people look like. That's what. That's what it looks like to me. And all my vocabulary comes from having read books. So it's kind of a problem with me.
It's not a word you hear very often. When you do hear Segway, you think those big goofy gyro scooter things.
Right, all those people that roll by you in North Beach.
Those
when
are
you're in the
Segway
area.
people.
Which I wonder if you could see them on this map view, because that would be pretty awesome if you could. But this is New York, so I don't think they probably use them out there.
I'm sure
Probably
somewhere.
get hit by a cab or something. I'm sure this works for all the major cities, but also other places as well. It's just kind of a neat thing. I know I used to have a lot of friends who would just literally spend hours in Google Earth when they first released that.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody looking up their own house and then getting really freaked out about it. And yeah.
Oh, there's Chicago.
Good old Chicago.
Hey guys. Do a little shout out to you. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little under the hood things that that Yosemite boasts. Um, Not all of them I feel like are things that stand out right away. Like when you look up some of the developer notes, um, it's like stuff that I think as an end user you're not going to notice much. I think a lot of the stuff that I'm noticing is just little tweaks like this.
Yeah, a lot of little
But
visual tweaks.
I find it kind of interesting to see just how much they're trying to unify all the different iOS and just like the
Yeah,
general ecosystem and overall. It's a trend that we're also seeing on the Android side of things, but this actually does have a bit of an edge because this is a full desktop or sorry laptop system, a full computer.
hmm
Running x86 chip. And I think that has some advantages over the Android system in that regard, just
yeah,
because,
or a Chromebook or whatever.
right, because
Yeah,
you'd be only using it with, I don't even know if it's compatible with Chrome yet. I mean, the Lollipop stuff is, I think, basically everything that's running Lollipop.
yeah,
Um, so that keeps it from being able to do stuff like run Photoshop or run Word
yeah,
and at the same time take a phone call without having to pick up your phone.
yeah. And getting these things to play nicely with each other is gonna sell more things. Like I use an app called Pocket, which is sort of like a read it later, reading list, and I'll a lot of times be on my laptop, and here's a long article I'd like to read, and I'd rather go, lay in bed and read it or something, so I'll pocket it, and then I'll open that up on my iPad. But with Handoff, whenever I actually get that working, I'll be able to, sort of cut the middleman out, sorry Pocket, and just be able to jump right into an article that I was reading on my laptop.
Yeah, it's definitely a super useful feature, and I'm looking forward to it on the Android side of things because right now all the devices I have at home are all in the Android ecosystem because I
Yes.
like to play with that. So definitely looking forward to seeing how that works.
Yeah.
In terms of all this stuff, that about wraps what we have for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, definitely, give us a shout. Otherwise, keep it locked here for all things Yosemite, Apple, and tech.
You got it. Bye, guys.